Welcome to this second quarter Q&A with the CEO, Inify Laboratories, Fredrik Palm. I'm Ole Eikeland. Fredrik, you often say that Inify has taken a leading role in the development of modern diagnostics. That is a bold statement. Care to elaborate?
It's all about pathways, to be honest. I mean, our service is supporting the clinical patient pathway. And by doing so, we create significant gains across multiple instances in the chain of events that takes place when you do a prostate cancer investigation. And our systems approach enables significant quality and efficiency gains for the urology department, for the pathology department, ultimately generating a better healthcare for each patient. And we can see in the official statistics in the Cancer Registry that we have shortened the waiting time with weeks for each patient since the start. And I think that is what I mean when I say that we have taken a lead.
So what's the secret sauce here?
There are many spices in that sauce, but in brief, it is our multidisciplinary team that has developed a complete system without any shortcuts. And if you compare that to a component supplier, for instance, an AI vendor that supplies one or a few components, software or hardware, into the existing structure, oftentimes generates very limited value, if any. So it is certainly the holistic approach that is the key to success here.
Proof is in the pudding, and we have the proof here in Sweden, where Inify in record time has managed to turn the prostate cancer diagnostics upside down in the Stockholm region. How has that been possible?
Well, there are many components into that, but the healthcare structure combined with very eager clinics and urologists made it possible to adopt our service in a shorter time than a typical region or a trust if you translate it into the UK. And once they have started to use our services, the value becomes obvious instantly. So no one wants to turn back. And we are making regular customer service where we receive extremely positive feedback, and that is the key factor.
And the market share now in the Stockholm region is?
It's about 80%.
Oh, impressive. And for the whole of Sweden?
We estimate it to be around 10 to 15%, and we have dialogues with multiple additional regions, and we are of course aiming for a higher market coverage than that.
Well, in just a couple of years, that's amazing. You've proven yourself that you can do it in Sweden, but you're also now expanding into the UK, and in the second quarter you had a major breakthrough. What happened?
Well, the major breakthrough is that we sign a contract with our first customer in UK, Parkside Swede, owned by Frimley NHS Trust Foundation, and provided our first diagnostics. This showcased that we can deliver our services from our laboratory in Sweden while building our local laboratory in the UK. So the process is that the tissue preparation and the digitization took place in the laboratory in Sweden, while the diagnostic step took place by a consultant pathologist on remote in the United Kingdom.
And it's also important, if you look at the market, that you can show the market in the UK how it works. So you don't have to wait until the laboratory in the UK is open to do that.
Absolutely.
So you save a lot of time.
That's the whole idea. Yeah.
You are in good dialogues with many NHS, both locally and nationally. How are these talks progressing?
We have dialogues in different stages, so different maturity in the United Kingdom. But first, I must say that there is certainly a huge need for improvement in patient pathways in the United Kingdom. The dialogues are in general positive. It involves a lot of stakeholders, which is a bit time consuming. But I certainly see that we are progressing well, and I foresee that we will build partnerships and relations here that will be long-lasting with trusts and hospitals in the country.
Do you see that what you've done in Sweden, especially then in Stockholm regions, 80% market share in just a couple of years, that helps a lot when you are talking to these different players in the UK?
Yes, certainly. Both the results we have generated in Stockholm, but also the other region called Västmanland in Sweden, it certainly resonates very well in the UK.
The market is of course important, but building a state-of-the-art laboratory is also crucial in the UK. So what is the status there?
In the second quarter, we signed a lease contract with a brand new building in a science park called Milton Park, south of Oxford. And the construction work has started. So we are progressing well with full speed, with the aim to be able to open our brand new laboratory as early as possible in 2026.
And the capacity, what will that be when running?
The capacity will be well over 100,000 patients on an annual basis. So it's a much bigger laboratory than we actually have in Sweden.
And so people can understand, that means that you actually have the capacity to take all the samples from prostate cancer.
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. You are also continuing to develop gastrointestinal diagnostics. What is the status here?
Well, in the second quarter, the system development progressed well. So we are getting closer to launch for that service as well.
But how does this differ from prostate cancer diagnostics?
Gastrointestinal diagnostics differs from prostate cancer in quite many aspects. First of all, it's a much higher volume of samples if you compare with prostate cancer. It is also a much wider range of medical conditions that need to be diagnosed, and it's actually much less cancer than prostate cancer, which is a pure cancer issue or question. So efficiency in both the laboratory processes as well as the diagnostic processes are key success factors.
And there are clear synergies here.
Absolutely. I mean, we have the knowledge, we have the instruments, and we have a system that is optimized for small tissue samples. And these are factors that will benefit us a lot when moving into this diagnostic area, just to mention a few.
And when will this be up and running?
We will take in our first samples during the fall, and then we will gradually grow from there.
Well, Fredrik, it seems like business is running smoothly. So thank you.
Thank you.